All right. Um, First, I want to say, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Monkeys with Mouths. I know it's been a minute. Sorry about that. Life has been crazy. And yeah, I hope you enjoy this episode. But welcome back. I got a few topics that I want to talk about. So let's just jump into it. There may be some huge updates to this podcast. It may be this podcast or maybe a new podcast. I'm not sure what's gonna happen. But there's gonna be some serious updates, which I'm super excited about, and I can't wait to tell you guys about. But yeah, let's get started. All right, so starting off, I want to start off with the COVID mandates. So recently, a few days ago, Biden or OSHA passed its mandate, which is going to be due January 4th, I believe, in which any company over the size of 100 employees or greater has to get the vaccine to be able to work. No exceptions. And if not, they have to. If they don't get the vaccine, they have to ensure that the person could get tested. I think it's bi-weekly, weekly, or even daily. They always have to have a negative test, which is kind of pointless due to the fact that Bloomberg came out with an article a few weeks ago, maybe last week, talking about how the vaccine doesn't stop transmission, it doesn't stop transmission. It doesn't stop the spreading or you can still spread it and you can still contract it. A year-long study shows from the peak viral load with or without shots. Straight from Bloomberg.com. So it's just saying that, yeah, so whatever. I mean, it according to this new mandate, people who have the vaccine don't have to get tested, even though they can still catch it and still transmit it. So whatever. On that note, Jeremy Boring and the Daily Wire's lawsuit over Joe Biden vax order. So the Daily Wire, which is a conservative news outlet run by Jeremy Boring, Ben Shapiro, it has a bunch of these people. Like, I bet you've heard of it. Just Ben Shapiro, Andrew Klavan, Michael Knowles, Matt, I forget his name. Candace Owens, all of these conservative radio hosts, podcast hosts, they are all on Daily Wire. And so Daily Wire is suing over a grotesque abuse of power. They're suing the Biden administration. This is what they say. We're not the enforcement arm of the federal government. Forcing Americans to choose between their livelihoods and their freedom is a grotesque abuse of power, and we don't want to be a party to it, Jeremy Boring said. We will not incur the cost of implementing this testing regime. We will not incur the liability of inserting ourselves within private health decisions and information of our employees. Our company was founded to stand against tyranny, and we will. So their lawsuit is not going to be about the vaccine. It's going to be about the mandate, because they are, like, Ben Shapiro's pro-vaccine. I don't have any opinion of it. I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to give an opinion. I will say what Russell Brand is. I'm just a fool with a voice. But yeah, so that's news. And then another huge thing is Ron DeSantis says OSHA rules on vaccines, masks are federal overreach, and Florida is suing. So June 4th, I believe, or January 4th, whenever this mandate hits, Ron DeSantis is going to sue. The state of Florida will sue, along with Alabama and one more state. Alabama and Tennessee, I believe. Which I love the fact that these people are going to sue. Because this is a gross outreach and just... Yeah, so they're going to join a lawsuit to block federal vaccine mandates issued by OSHA. So that's update on that topic. And that's gonna lead into this topic of shortages. So there has been huge shortages throughout the nation. You've heard probably ports have been closed in California and New York, and so Florida recently opened their port to allow the bringing in of storage containers or storage units, not storage units. You know what I'm talking about. The storage containers. And so I was just looking up shortages because I think that's a huge thing that's going to happen, is that we're going to have some shortages. And so I just looked up, you literally Google shortages in Texas. And so the first few news outlets say like prisons in Texas across the U.S. facing staff shortages as officers quit amid COVID pandemic. Supply chain shortages hitting Texas cities with holidays approaching. Texas expert on alcohol shortage. Labor shortages, national supply shortages. And so if you're mandating a vaccine and you can't employ anybody who's not vaccinated or who doesn't pass these certain requirements, then people are going to quit, and there's going to be a greater supply shortage, a greater labor shortage. It's just common sense. I think it's major paint supplier looks to overcome resin shortages with. So there's a paint shortage. School districts also forced to navigate supply chain shortages. Barbecue joints are feeling the strain of shortages. So it's a huge thing. Then if you Google truck shortages, truck drivers facing shortages expect more to quit over Biden's vaccine mandate. Local truck companies struggling with workers, truck shortages. Do your holiday shopping now, truck driver shortage. Officials warn vaccine mandates could exacerbate truck driver shortages. Why shoppers are finding many projects in such short supply. Wanted 80,000 truck drivers to help fix the supply chain. So we're short 80,000 drivers. After causing chaos in the UK, truck driver shortage could soon hit the rest of Europe. Teens training to drive 18-wheelers, national truck driving shortage. Like that's wild. That's wild. Biden said that it's going to be a cold winter. It's going to be a dark and cold winter, and I think he's correct on that note. So we just have this shortage that's happening, which is not good at all. And then we have the FDA approving the vaccine for 5-year-olds, 5 to 13-year-olds, which my opinion on it is you can get the vaccine if the doctor requires to you. I agree with what Joe Rogan says. If you're young, healthy, if you work out, if you don't have comorbidities, just you can get if you want to, but you're not at much risk. I got COVID. I have to say it didn't feel like a normal cold. It was not fun, but it wasn't anything that I couldn't just rest off. I had a huge headache, like a 24-hour migraine. I could not sleep. I had fever at night for the first day. Then the second day I had a headache. I just felt weak. I lost my smell the third day. Smell and taste, it still hasn't returned, and it's been like 2 months. So, I mean, you definitely have to be careful. And I'm healthy. I'm young. 19. I work out every day. I eat healthy. And for it to hit me, pretty tough. I wasn't scared or anything. But yeah. So it's something to be careful about. I think you should not get it if you're being forced to get it. You should take it out of your own free will. And I think that's what the Daily Wire and Florida are suing about, is that they want people to have the freedom to choose. They shouldn't be forced into it by their companies, into it by the businesses. So I don't agree with the mandates. But yeah. Then some more COVID stuff I was reading. Let's see, some news. So I read a few comments on Twitter about how the new Pfizer vaccine, or Pfizer pills, because Pfizer's coming out with anti-COVID pills. It's called Molnupiravir. I don't know how you pronounce it. Sorry. But it's known as PF07321332. And so I was looking up because I heard that it had a molecule difference between it and ivermectin, that it was super similar to ivermectin. I don't know. I couldn't find anything that prove that. It just says that it has very similar. I'm on InfoWars, so take it as you will. But Pfizer launching final study for COVID drug that's suspiciously similar to horse paste. Coincidentally, Pfizer's drug shares at least one mechanism of actions as ivermectin. It's a protease inhibitor. So ivermectin is a protease inhibitor, and this new Pfizer pill is a protease inhibitor. So I don't know. Make of that what you wish. I'm gonna look for some more. Maybe I might do a more in-depth look onto that. I'm not quite sure. I don't know. Something interesting. I do think there's something there. I think ivermectin and the mononucleic or whatever it is, not remdesivir, because that's not good. But the thing that Trump took, the Regeneron treatment, I think that's good. Yeah. Anyways, I'm not going to talk too much into that because I don't want to get censored or anything. I think I'm too small to get censored, but that's okay. But yeah, so Pfizer isn't the only drug maker hoping to develop a prophylactic treatment for COVID exposure. Merck and Swiss rival Roche have been racing to develop a pill of their own. So, new oral anti-COVID medication will be a game changer in fighting the coronavirus. New data showing that treatment is 89% effective in reducing the risk of those who contract the disease. This is probably going to be good. This is good. I like this. I think this is great. I'm not going to do it because I have the antibodies and I trust the antibodies, and I put more weight in antibodies than not. I think the human body is an incredible machine. And if we just give it, I don't know. This is a super complicated topic. Do your own research. I personally think get the vaccine if your doctor recommends you to do it, and be healthy. And so I think this is going to be the end of this episode. Pretty quick, pretty simple, pretty quick, easy. I want to do a few breakdowns of different topics. I'm slowly going to jump back into the podcast recording. And yeah, I'm super excited to get back into it. Like, subscribe, follow on the socials at Monkeys with Mouths on Instagram. I'm on Spotify. I'm on Google Podcasts. I may do Rockfin as well. I think that'd be fun. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes. There's going to be a huge update to this podcast very soon. So stay tuned and have a wonderful rest of the day.